Buongiorno a tutti, mi chiamo Charlotte e oggi parliamo dello Scorpione. Ok, andiamo. Hi everyone. Um, Today we're going to look at the Italian language star sign Scorpio. And Scorpione is also the word for scorpion. So Scorpione can be the name of the animal, but also the name of the zodiac sign, whereas in English we use Scorpio as the star sign and scorpion just for the animal. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken a text from a website, astrocenter.it, which is like an astrology website. I've also done a similar video for my French club this month because we are in Scorpio season, which is basically like the kind of middle to the end of October, kind of until the same kind of mid to latter part of November. Okay, so it's an area that's of interest to me, but it's also kind of relevant to the time of year. So often I choose the content of my language clubs based on sort of something which is sort of temporally, I should say, linked. Okay, so it's kind of Scorpio season. Therefore, let's talk about that. It's just, you don't have to like be interested in, or someone who kind of puts their trust in astrology or horoscopes or that kind of thing, but it is just kind of a subject matter. Okay, so this is the handout for this month's club, and I'll be sending that out pretty soon. I've got a little adapted text, or three paragraphs that I've taken from a website, an Italian astrology website, and as usual I put all the verbs in red so that you can see them, that no matter what their forms, no matter what the tense is, they're either conjugated or in their infinitive forms. And I've also got three, they all happen to start with P. We've got three verbs: preferire, permettere, and potere, which is a modal verb. Very useful verbs, actually. And then I've got a link in the handout to this video, which I'll email out to you all as usual, and a link to sort of descriptions of star signs, zodiac signs in Italian that you can read if you're interested. It's just, you'll kind of get, when you read that kind of content, you'll see that there's a lot of kind of adjectives describing personalities, and you'll have verbs and vocabulary in general linked to kind of behaviours and things that are taking place, vocab related to like celestial bodies and that kind of thing, stars, moon, planets, etc. So it's kind of like a mixture of physical and kind of almost like non-physical or metaphysical type vocabulary, so it's quite useful, and it can be applied sort of elsewhere. So let me read out what we have here, and then I'll look at my whiteboard, and hopefully we won't run out of time. I'm recording this on my phone and I can see the counters on, so I'm guessing there might be a limit on how much space I have. So andiamo. Lo Scorpione è un segno d'acqua come i pesci e il cancro, ed è un segno misterioso e molto istintivo che preferisce tenere per sé i propri sentimenti e pensieri piuttosto che condividerli. Puoi confidarti con uno scorpione in tutta tranquillità. Non rivelerà mai il tuo segreto. Intensi e passionali, gli scorpioni, governati da Marte e Plutone, vivono le loro emozioni al massimo e vanno fino in fondo alle situazioni. Spinti dalla sensualità e dal potere, si distinguono per il loro spirito ribelle, anticonformista e critico. Anche se possono essere un po' aggressivi, la loro lucidità permette loro di evolversi e mettersi costantemente alla prova. Nonostante la tendenza alla diffidenza e alla gelosia, soprattutto quando vengono messi alla prova, possono diventare amici preziosi, spinti dall'intensità dei loro sentimenti. As I was reading that, I realized that what I've written out on my whiteboard is actually like a truncated version of this because I couldn't fit it all in, but also because it would just like be a very, very long tutorial if we went over the whole part. But reading it out gives an opportunity. Any parts that I don't actually include on the whiteboard, reading it out includes an extra opportunity for you to do some listening. And I try to sort of like keep it relatively brief when I'm looking at the language of the content. So I know that my videos often go between sort of 20 minutes and 40 minutes, sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more, but ideally they'd be sort of half an hour to 40 minutes, you know. You can always skip through them, of course. So there might be a slightly truncated version there, but you can also always go to astrocenter.it and then find Lo Scorpione. Okay, and then you'll find some character traits. So let's look at what exactly I have written here and start looking at the language. Okay, as you can tell, I'm still not back in my office, but we do what we can. Okay, so, and I'm aware of the reflection, sorry about that. I'm squeezed into a corner in my current bedroom. So, we're on the squeaky chair, sorry about that. Ok. Oh no, molto difficile. Eccolo, ok. Lo Scorpione. So the first thing to mention here is that instead of il Scorpione, Scorpione starts with an S più C. So S plus a consonant. When it's masculine in Italian, will instead of starting with the usual il article, it will start with lo, L-O. And in the plural, instead of I, it will be gli. Okay, we'll have a look at that later. Lo Scorpione è un segno d'acqua. So it is a water sign, a sign of water, as opposed to the other elemental signs, okay? Air, earth, fire. Lo Scorpione è un segno d'acqua, a sign of water, acqua. Come I pesci, so like Pisces, è il cancro, okay, and Cancer. Ed è un segno misterioso e molto istintivo, so it is a very kind of intuitive and mysterious sign. Che, that can mean which or that, depending on the how you translate this sort of conjunction. Che preferisce, so this is one of the verbs that I've put down here in the just the present tense. Eccolo, okay, because it's quite irregular. Preferisce, this sign prefers tenere per sé, tenere is to keep, tenere per sé is to keep for oneself or to oneself. I propri sentimenti, one's own. I propri is like belonging to oneself, so one's own feelings. Sentimenti, okay, like sentiments. E pensieri, and thoughts. Un pensiero is a thought. Pensare is to think, the verb. So they prefer to keep to themselves their feelings and thoughts, their own feelings and thoughts. Piuttosto che, rather than or instead of. Okay, that's what that means. Condividerli. So here we have an infinitive verb, condividere, without the final E, and instead of the final E we have this object pronoun li, which means them. Condividere is to share, okay? So piuttosto che condividerli is rather than sharing them. Okay, so this sign prefers to keep their own thoughts and feelings to themselves rather than sharing them, their thoughts and feelings, okay? Puoi is from the verb potere, which means to be able to, or can, okay? Here it is down here. I've conjugated the first three. First, second and third person singular, but I haven't done the plural versions because I'm leaving them to you guys to check whether you remember them or to go and find them out if you don't. Puoi, so you can, that's in the to form, the informal to form, which is singular, just you, one of you. Confidarti, that means to confide in, to confide oneself, okay? It's a reflexive verb. Con uno, that should be a you. Con uno scorpione. Again, instead of un, which would be one, like un libro, un uomo, un ragazzo, we have uno. Okay, that's what happens to the article Lo Scorpione, uno scorpione. Okay, it's just because it starts with an S plus a consonant. The same would happen for masculine singular nouns that start with a Z. Come lo zaino or lo zoo. Okay, like a backpack or the zoo. Uno zaino. Uno zoo. Okay, puoi confidarti con uno scorpione. You can confide in a Scorpio. Con uno Scorpio, in a Scorpio if you like. In tutta tranquillità. Sorry, you can't really read that, but that's meant to say tranquillità. You can, in tranquility, or how do you say that in English? You can confide in someone, you can trust in them in confidence. No, just you can be rest assured is probably what we say. Rest assured that you can confide in a Scorpio. So you can confide in them. Rest assured that you can confide in them. Non rivelerà, they will not reveal. Mai is never ever. So they will never reveal il tuo segreto, your secret. Il tuo means your. Tuo is the to form, meaning your. And tuo with an O at the end. Il tuo agrees with segreto. Okay, secret. And again, you can see that this is the to form, il tuo, and that's also the verb potere in the to form with puoi, okay? They could say si può, one can, which is like an impersonal way of writing something. Like in English, we would use the impersonal to, sorry, not the impersonal to, the impersonal you. You can confide in a Scorpio. But in Italian, you've got this choice of how you address the readership. So here it's doing it in a very personal, informal way, using the puoi, il tuo segreto. Intensi e passionali, passionate and intense. Gli scorpioni, so scorpione ends with an E in the singular, but in the plural it ends with an I. Scorpioni. And lo scorpione, that article changes to li scorpione. Governati da Marte e Plutone, so governed by or ruled by Mars, the planet, Plutone, Pluto. Still haven't quite decided whether that's still considered a planet or not, but it used to be, okay? It's a celestial body that has an impact on things, okay, according to astrology. Vivono le loro emozioni al massimo. Okay, so they experience or they live. Vivere can mean to live or to experience something, to go through something and like to feel it if you like. They live or they experience le loro emozioni, their emotions, al massimo, to the fullest if you like, to the max. E vanno fino in fondo alle situazioni. I haven't looked at the translation for that, but to go deep into, in fondo means like behind something, like, maybe I should look that up. Fino in fondo. Oh, don't want to lose that. Let me get my tablet. Oh no. Ecco la lampa. That's the lamp over there. Excuse me, guys. What I'd like is to be back in my office with my lovely height adjustable desk and the whiteboards that I have fixed. Oh dear. Sorry about this. Oh dear me. Aspetta che cosa facciamo? I have to do lots of work around quite frequently, but you know, for those who've been with me long enough, you might remember that I actually had in my home, which I'm not able to be in at the moment, frustratingly. I had my own lovely office, you know, with my books and my filing cabinets and my whiteboards on the wall, you know, like my certificates and my raised desk. Like, I had a lovely setup, you know, so I've not got access to those things at the moment, but that's why, you know, I'm using my phone instead of my webcam and my desktop mic and all the stuff, that my usual things I'm having to kind of improvise ongoingly, but I can do it, you know, so thank you for being understanding. So where did we get to? I was going to check on my tablet. Part of the, like, when situations change and you go through challenges, like I have been for the last year or so, well, a year or three, to be honest, you know, you have to find workarounds, so you become like one becomes, like the impersonal, quite resourceful. So actually it's a bit of a blessing in disguise, you know, I can find workarounds for things, so that's not such a bad thing, is it? I'm going to go to word reference, if I can find it, word reference. So for anyone who doesn't know, this is a really useful website, which is like a dictionary forum with lots of really good content. What language are we doing? Italian to English. So you can get the free app version of this. It's wordreference.com. Oh yeah. In fondo. In fondo. Fondo is at the background. To go deep into things, basically. To the bottom of, to the core. Fino in fondo, all the way to the core. Okay, to the core is probably the best then. So, they get to the bottom of things. So, they live their emotions to the fullest, or they experience their emotions to the fullest, and they go to the bottom of situations, to the core of situations, to the root of situations, okay? Spinti dalla sensualità e dal potere, si distinguono per il loro spirito rebelle. Okay, we need to also check up, what's the word? Spinto. Because I'm not exactly sure what that means. Impelled. Yeah. Driven or motivated. Yeah, okay. That would make sense because that adjective, which is plural, the I at the end of the adjectives in this text refer to the collective, the Scorpio collective. Okay, so we've got verbs here in the they form. Loro vivono, vanno. Vivere is the verb to live or to experience, and vano is from andare, which is to go. Okay, they go fino in fondo alle situazioni. They go to the core, to the heart, to the root of situations. So spinti here is an adjective in the plural form, plural masculine form, agreeing with the plural Scorpio collective. Motivated by, or motivated, by sensualità, sensuality, things that you can touch, feel, taste, see, that kind of thing. E dal potere, and by power, I guess. Si distinguono, they can distinguish themselves, or they can be distinguished, per il loro spirito, by their rebellious spirit. Okay. Again, sì. Possono essere, scusa, scusatemi, they can be distinguished, or you can distinguish them from others by their rebellious or rebel nature, rebellious spirit, and then anticonformista e critico, so anti or non-conformist and critical sort of spirit. Anche se means even if. You see it over there? Anche se, even if. Possono essere un po' aggressivi, even if they can be a little, un po' aggressive. La loro lucidità permette loro di evolversi. So, lucidity. So, I think that's that kind of, is that sort of being very clear? Lucid. Let me find a translation for that. Clarity of mind. Okay, clarity, lucidity. Let's stick with lucidity. Even anche se possono essere un po' aggressivi, even if they can be a little aggressive, la loro lucidità permette loro di evolversi. So their clarity of mind, say, allows them, permette loro, allows them, permettere is the verb to permit or allow, loro, them, di evolversi, to evolve or to develop themselves is reflexive, evolversi, emettersi, and to put themselves, costantemente, there's an shouldn't be an N there, it's a mixture of English and Italian, that is, costantemente, so to constantly evolve and to put themselves alla prova, to put themselves to the test. So I like that description. It's always good to be able to evolve and learn from things, and to put oneself to the test, to challenge yourself and to grow, because that is, after all, how we actually do grow as individuals. So yes, obviously that's not going to be every Scorpio that you know, but actually those that I do know, it seems to be quite a good sort of summary of their kind of character traits, and that's always something that I've liked about astrology, kind of horoscopes. I do think that there's something to be said for it, and I don't quite know what it is, but it's an interesting area anyway. So that's that text. I'm going to read it one more time, and then I'm going to send this handout and video link, well, upload the video to YouTube and then send it to my club members. Thank you, everyone. Grazie mille for your patience and understanding over the last year or so. I actually have, quite excited about this, a social coming up on the 7th of December, and I'll be sending out and sort of publishing and promoting that with all the necessary information. So if you can attend, that would be lovely. is also going to tie in with my 40th birthday party celebrations and a gig where I'll be singing with my bandmate Glenn in Chepstow, doing a live gig. So there's quite a lot going on that day. If you want to come down, please feel free. That would be amazing. So all of the information will be posted as soon as I get a chance, which will be in the coming week probably. So let me read that one more time. Lo Scorpione, Scorpio, è un segno d'acqua. It's a water sign, come il pesce. Scusate. Come i pesci, like the Pisces, è il cancro, and cancer, ed è un segno misterioso, è molto istintivo. It's a very instinctual, what's the word? Intuitive, I suppose, and mysterious sign che preferisce tenere per sé i propri pensieri, i propri sentimenti e pensieri. A sign which prefers to keep to itself their own feelings and thoughts, piuttosto che di condividerli, rather than share them. Puoi confidarti con uno scorpione in tutta tranquillità. You can confide in a Scorpio, rest assured that you can. Non rivelerà mai il tuo segreto. They will never reveal your secret. Intensi e passionali, gli scorpioni governati da Marte e Plutone vivono le loro emozioni al massimo e vanno fino in fondo alle situazioni. Intense, and I think it's passionate, passionale. 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 Passionate. Gli scorpioni, Scorpios, governati da Marte e Plutone, governed by or ruled by Mars and Pluto, vivono le loro emozioni al massimo, experience their or live their emotions to the fullest, or to the max, e vanno fino in fondo alle situazioni, and go to the heart of situations. Spinti dalla sensualità e dal potere, so driven by or motivated by sensuality and power, si distinguono per il loro spirito ribelle, anticonformista e critico. So they can be distinguished by or recognized for their rebellious, non-conformist and sort of critical spirit. Anche se possono essere un po' aggressivi, even if they can be a little aggressive, la loro lucidità permette loro di evolversi e mettersi costantemente alla prova. Even if they can be a little aggressive, their lucidity or their clarity of mind allows them to evolve and to constantly put themselves to the test. And then this is a part that I did say at the beginning, but I didn't put on the board because I didn't have the space. Nonostante la tendenza alla diffidenza e alla gelosia, so in spite of, or notwithstanding, if you like, the tendency towards diffidence and jealousy, soprattutto quando vengono messi alla prova, above all when they are put to the test, when they get put to the test, possono diventare amici preziosi. They can become precious friends, spinti dall'intensità dei loro sentimenti, driven by or motivated by the intensity of their feelings. So I thought that was a lovely description. I hope that that's been useful, and I hope that you're enjoying these videos. And please feel free to leave messages underneath, and I will always get back to you if I can. If there's any links that you think I'd find interesting, leave them there. If I've made a mistake or overlooked something, please feel free to put a little comment. You know, I'm only human, and I do all of this in one long take. You know, so I'm always open to like feedback, and you know, my mind's open. I like to learn. So yes, hope you find it useful, guys. Grazie mille e alla prossima volta. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.